Oh my goodness.
We're going to be recording this webinar, if that's okay. So just so we put it on our website for future people that are interested. Okay. Oh, we've got another one. Okay. Anyway, guys, I'll start. Why I'm doing a webinar on the Kunisaki Trail is that I just came back from our first tour on this walk, and I just wanted to show you the presentation and a bit about the place. This is me. I'm the owner and the founder of Life's an Adventure. So thank you so much for thinking of coming with us. That's me and my daughter in Tasmania.
Whoa.
Yeah, on one of our walks there. Now, Yoriko, she's not with us tonight, but Yoriko there is our Japanese operations specialist. And as you can imagine, well, there's 3 different languages in Japan, so it's very hard dealing with all the hotels and all the operators there unless you've got a Japanese staff member. So that's Yoriko. Just a little bit about Life's an Adventure. Starting from the top there with my wife, we're the winners of 23 awards. We stopped for health reasons going in the awards, but we ended up with 23 awards. Hi, Robin. How you going? Welcome to the webinar. We're just starting, but you haven't missed much. We're still talking about Life's an Adventure. Life's an Adventure is all about, as you probably know, for those people that have been on them, we're all about walking's only part of the adventure. So we like to, and this is why I love Japan, because it's so culturally rich and the food's amazing, the onsens, the accommodation's quite incredible. So yeah, it's not just the walks, but the walks are quite amazing as well. As you can see, we use helicopters, we use boats. We even in the Bay of Fires, we have our own house, but we really like to feature the local food on our tours, and we're the only operator that actually includes alcohol. That's pretty controlled because it's only during dinner, but we think it's a nice feature because it gets people social, and it's nice that you don't have to put your hand in your pocket for the soft drinks or the wine that we provide. One photo here, which is important, is that we, on each of these tours, we do have a Japanese guide on every tour, which speaks English. We also have sometimes an assistant guide or a host, which is Japanese or Australian. And we do have a bus driver. So even if you might be on a tour with 4 people, there will be 3 staff on that tour, which really allows, for a flexible walking options. You've got a bus driver at the start of the walk. You've got, which really allows you to, instead of catching public transport from Tokyo, you go on the bus straight away. So it's really, really quite cool. So yeah, we've got 3 staff look after you. Anyway, that's about Life's an Adventure. As you can see there, we've got quite a few tours now in Japan. I'll go into some of these tours in more detail. But we've got the Michinoko Coastal Walk, which is basically north of Tokyo. It's beautiful area. We've got the Nakasundo Way. We've got Mount Fuji, which is really the Izu Peninsula. We've got the Kumano Kodos, so the Isuji and the Nakahachi, or the Shintetsu, and the Kunisaki Spiritual Trail. There's one missing there. It's called Basho, which is north, but not as north as Michinoko, just to give you a bit of an idea. There's Michinoko. So just really briefly, all our tours are 7 to 8 days. This is just a really stunning coastal walk. And that first photo, the whole way has just got so many beautiful coastal outcrops like that. that are just incredible. So, and the beauty is, what I love about some of our tours that get out of the gold, they call it the Golden Triangle, but it's basically, the Tokyo to Osaka to Kyoto. When you go out of there, you see the real Japanese, you see the real culture, and there's not as many people. So that's a really beautiful coastal trail. Unfortunately, it was hit by a tsunami in 2011. 26,000 people died in that tsunami. And this walk is all about restoring that coastal area and engaging with the community and the cultural part of it. And it's stunning. The Nakahachi route is, one of the famous walks of Japan, which really starts from Osaka and then it goes down into the Kii Peninsula and it ends up at the first photo, the sheeted there down the bottom. And it's a really quite a hard walk. So very, very challenging, up and down big mountains, very hard. Nakasunde is very, very popular as well. That's really Tokyo to Kyoto or Kyoto to Tokyo. And then, so you get to see those two, famous cities. But then in the middle, there's a walk which used to be the Way of the Samurai. It goes through 86 different post towns. As you can see, the 300-year-old village and wooden buildings, and it's really quite authentic. So it's a beautiful walk, but it's very, very good for beginners or people that've never been to Japan. I think it's a great way easy to fly into Tokyo and fly out of Osaka. We do a walk, Shintetsu, which is Nagano up in the mountains, over 1,000, meters in elevation. So really good walk to do in June or July when it's peak summer because it's it's a bit cooler up there. Definitely wouldn't do it in April or November. It's a bit too cold. This is our Basho Toku walk, following the footsteps of Basho. Basho's a famous haiku poet from the 18th century. So that's really quite a hidden gem as well. Quite beautiful. The first photos of and I'll do another. We've already got people on that tour next year. Really, that's Ginza Onsen, just beautiful. It highlights just another region, another area. We've got the Kamano Koda Isiji, which is another way to get to the Kamano Shrine. It's more of a coastal walk, starts in Nagoya and then goes down the coast. So it's very beautiful beaches and coast walks. Whereas the Nakahachi is more up and down, big mountain range, cross section of the bottom Kii Peninsula. If you look on a map, they're two different routes to get to the same place. A bit like the Caminos of France. You're all going to Santiago de Compostela. There's just different ways to get there. Then we've got the Mount Fuji or the Izu Peninsula. It's really all about Izu Peninsula. But I did a webinar on this one. It's available online already. And it's a really cool tour because it's out of Tokyo, 2 hours out of Tokyo. And you see Mount Fuji on the way down to Izu Peninsula on the first day from the Hakone area. And then we do Izu for 5 days, which is a geologically quite amazing place. And then on the way back, we see it on the way back. So we see Mount Fuji, but yeah, really cool tour. But hey, today we're actually going to be talking about the tour I just finished 2 weeks ago. The tour, I believe, is my favorite out of all the 100 tours that we've ever designed in the world. So it's just where everything came together and it was just such a beautiful place. A real hidden gem. It's off the tourist track and I'm really proud to share it today with you. So we don't have it's in Kishu, which is the bottom island down the bottom. It's not as far as Okinawa, but it's about 5 hours in a Shinkansen from Tokyo. maybe 3 hours, something like that from Osaka. So it's down in a city called Fukuoka. And actually, the good thing is, if you're just doing our tour, you can fly pretty cheaply to Fukuoka from Sydney, for example. You'd have to go, say, Cathay Pacific via Hong Kong or Scoot via Singapore. But some of the guests flew there and it was only $600 return. So pretty cheap still to get to Japan. And yeah, either, go to Osaka and see other parts of Japan before the tour or after, and then Shinkansen down to Fukuoka. Um, I'll get into the actual tour, but our first day is no walking. It really just starts at 5 o'clock. So, but the cool thing is you get to meet the guides, you get to meet the other guests, and we do that at the Royal Park Hotel. That's included in the package, and it's a nice 4-star accommodation, very close to the Shinkansen. I caught a cab there. It cost me $8, so it wasn't over the top. I got there, and yeah, we meet for an hour. We get through all the ins and outs of the tour, and then we take you on a cultural experience, which was really, really cool. So your first night thrown in the deep end, and we go to the Yatai night markets, and they're on the water, beautiful location. But we take you to 4 or 5 of these different stalls, experience different cuisine. You don't have to eat it all if you don't like certain things, but it's all about just seeing what the local delicacies are and what's on there. So we do that, and then drinks are included as well with that tour. So I think it's just a good intro. Get to see the real Japan. That temple's something else. If you're there early, you might want to go and see. It's a beautiful temple. But lots to see around there. This is the Park Royal Hotel. This is where we meet the guests at 5, then go off on our night tour. So yeah, we get going. You have breakfast in the hotel, and then we set off from Fukuoka. It's about 2-hour transfer. We'd probably stop halfway there for the toilet stop, pick up our lunches, and then we head to our morning walk. The whole tour is really about the Kunisaki Trail, but we don't get into the Kunisaki Trail on our first day. I wanted to show you on the first and the last day the local area as well. And we go to the Komo Shrine, which is good to learn about how to pray, how to, the local etiquette of, those sort of things and the local history. But then we're really treated after that with a temple, which is quite amazing. We had it all to ourselves. There's usually 1,000 people there per day, but we actually had a private viewing of the temple, and the priest, which was a nun, and she's the 6th generation of nuns and priests that have worked there, gives us a private tour, and it was quite amazing to go there. We don't have many photos because we weren't allowed to take photos of this temple due to privacy and her wishes. But this is what was on the tourism website. But here are all the Buddhas, and these are all the Buddhas that have served over the last 1,200 years. So it's quite amazing to do that. But there was a purpose for the shrine walk, in that we had to write down on a piece of paper something we wanted to get rid of, and mine was, being grumpy. And I wrote down the word grumpy, and we burnt that. And we did a lot of symbolism of getting rid of that. And it was, ringing bells and a whole host of things. And it was quite uplifting, or getting rid of those things. After that, we had lunch that's not the lunch photo, but we had a lunch at a local soba restaurant, which was really cool. Then we went to the rice terraces. The cool thing about the rice terrace, we walked through some through the from the local town into the rice terraces, but we met a local non-profit organisation that are together, getting together, and we did a cooking class there, um, and we basically made some cakes. But then the president of the association took us through the rice fields and then showed us, the traditional methods of the rice fields. And the shame or the cool thing is, well, the shame is that in the regional areas, a bit like Australia, the young people are going to the cities, and they are losing this ability to farm this way. And so the local residents have set up this non-profit organisation to keep these traditional farming methods alive. They show the school students, these traditional methods, and us. So we were really quite chuffed. I'm proud of the fact that we're supporting these sort of initiatives that keep these traditions alive, and yeah, they're trying to involve the locals and the young people in there. So that was really cool. We then went to our accommodation, and this is our Yamaga Kaizen no Sato. Now, this is where we stay for the next 4 nights, and you can see why I picked it is that, this Oita area is famous for its thermal hot baths. Now, there's lots of hot springs in Japan, but this one, well, in the area, the hot springs are actually from water from the ground, and they're rich in minerals, and they have therapeutical benefits. Ah, sorry, I should have gone into each one of these. Oh, later that night, this is just so cool. But the hotel and the restaurant had never had international tourists. They'd never had people from overseas, and this is the chef. He came out. He brought out his fish, his octopus, bonito, and he actually had a knife demonstration of making the sushi. And this is the plate. This is just entree for dinner that night. And you're spoilt rotten with food. If you have food you don't like, you're getting 12 different lots of food. And so, yeah, this is a bit more close up of the rice terrace. I'll move on to here. Anyway, we stay there 4 nights, and then the next day we do actually get involved in the Kunisaki long trail, which the first day, as you can see on the second picture, starts at the Magabutsu, which is basically it's where Buddhism first came into Japan. And so I don't want to give too much away, but the cool thing about this is 1,200 years ago, and Shinto religion and the emperor said, "Oh, I don't know about this religion," but they adopted it. And this is where it first came into Japan from China, from India. And this is the first sort of remnants of it. And our Japanese guide sang for us here the traditional song of the area. And the Kunisaki Trail, just to tell you, is really a trail that they invented 1,200 years ago for the Buddhist monks. And this is their training ground. If you can walk this 154 kilometers, you become a monk. And it's quite treacherous on some parts of it, and it's quite amazing, but it's very spiritual. What I love about Japan and this walk in particular, we didn't see anybody for the next 7 days. On the Nakasando or the Kumano is an ant trail of people, and if you like seeing people, that's great. But I quite like having the the forest and the place to ourselves, and I felt that was really special for me. But yeah, this is day one of the Kunisaki Trail. The Japanese guide that is the president of the long trail, so we're getting a really in-depth knowledge of every twist along the way. So this is a beautiful start of the day, and then we go back to our accommodation, and there is some of the rooms do have private onsens. I had a private onsen, but I didn't even use mine. I much prefer the bigger ones and socializing with everybody. Yeah, quite steep sections up, but they've got hand railing. Definitely take poles. But yeah, really quite amazing. Beautiful temples to see, and that's our accommodation. I'll move on to the next day. That's not a good photo of me, but anyway, I'm having a go. This day is was 12, 13 kilometers, and it was quite hard. So what we've done here, we're going to have two walk options on this day. Mount Inomure is a medium walk. It's about 8 k's, and it's very, very doable. But the second section we will offer, as you can see the third picture along. There is quite a lot of chain on this day. And then the fourth picture, there's, we're not talking about it's monk training. Well, there was definite, on the, as you can see, that's Mount Inomure. Hang on, I'll go back. That's Mount Inomure. Lots of shrines and statues of ogres. That's the ogre there. The ogre's not me, it's the statue. Okay. There you can see that. So there's 8 kilometers, which is no chains, and then we're going to have an optional if you want to do the next 5 k's. It's quite a lot of chain, and then there is a walk of faith. As you can see, someone's on their hands and knees going across there because they didn't feel confident about it. But everybody did it. But some people, there is a trail that you don't have to walk over that platform there. So it's very challenging. I'd say it's hard. So you can go back early and go to a museum at 3 o'clock, or you can stay on for the next 2 hours and knock over this hard section, which was, everybody did it. It was quite rewarding, but if you're scared of heights, I wouldn't encourage you to do it. It was quite scary in places, but I loved it, and everybody that did it loved it. So yeah, ask us questions about that if you're unsure. But yeah, the first 8K is very, very doable, but the next 5, which you can opt out of, is yeah, really challenging, but bloody amazing. Hey, we've got someone wanting to come on. Hi, welcome aboard. We're halfway through, sorry. Oh, anyway. Oh, Carol B wants to come in. That's the temple we see halfway through, and then we come back to our accommodation. So it's quite Western style accommodation, quite beautiful. Moving on to the next day. So this is our third day at our accommodation. We've got another Japanese guide there. The cool thing is he was the president of the walking club. And so every corner they know about the history of the whole trail. They point out where there was a battle in 1604, and it's quite amazing, the history behind it. This is a 9K walk, 600 meter. You're seeing all the elevations. Sorry, I haven't spoken about everyone, but lots of stops, lots of history and information along the way, and every day is quite different. So we've picked each day. So one's mountain, one's different, and then this is your main photo. This is, we had lunch there, and it looks amazing, and it was amazing. It's not trick photography. It was incredible. This little lunch spot. So yeah, that was our day there. This is quite amazing. This is just around the corner. You see, this is just little totems for every monk is served at the local temple, the temple before, and this is over 1,200 years. So this is just amazing what you see along the way. But this is why I love Japan. It's not just beautiful forests. There's history and lots to see. It's another photo of our accommodation. So the beauty of Japan is you do your 10, 15 kilometers and you might be really tired, but and you're tired and sore, but you go, guess what? I've got an onsen waiting for me before dinner. And you shower in the onsen and then you jump in the pool. It's very, very beautiful. Then this is our last day in our accommodation, and we do our last day on the Kunisaki Trail. So this is a 9K day. It was quite amazing. Lots of things to see on the way. Not just there was an old town that we walked through that was being abandoned up the mountains, but at this temple to finish our Kunisaki Trail, we had a fire ceremony, and that was so special. As you can see the little wood blocks in the fire? That had everybody's name on it, and the priest read out their name and then prayed for everybody. It was quite spectacular. So, every day is, 8Ks to 13 on that one day that's extra. So, but I wouldn't say it's not, easy paths. They're uneven rocks and stuff, but, it's not long distances. This day, we move out of our accommodation after 4 days and we move to Himeshima, which is a really cool little island off the Oita Peninsula, and we stay in a traditional ryokan, which is called Hachio Kan, which is really, really cool. The only gaijin, you know what gaijin is, everybody? It is a name for foreigner. Now, the only gaijin on the island is, I've forgotten his name, but I mean, it's John, and he used to train Ian Thorpe. Now, he has a Australian little cafe there, and he opened up just specially because he heard all these Aussies were coming, and we had a flat white, my only flat white on, a month in Japan. So he was really cool. He and we stayed at the Rokan. He brought over a bottle of sake for us to all have, which was really nice. And the mayor turned up of the island, and he gave a little talk. So just very cute. Every day, the locals would give us a headband on one day, and the next day they'd have something else. I don't want to give too much away, but it was very, very cute. When you stop the bus, I haven't got a photo of this, but we'd stop to, when we left the hotel. None of the lunches were provided by the hotel, but the ladies of the local co-op would make us lunch, which would be a bento box. I don't have any photos of the bento box, but they were just quite amazing little lunch boxes. And they'd stop the bus, they'd bring the lunches on board, and then they'd wave, and all the guests would get out and thank them for lunch. And so it was very cool, like that, meeting the people making your lunches. Anyway, we on the island, beautiful and calm. The cool thing about the island is it's sort of set back in time, 30 years. So it's, you see, the locals drying the seaweed. or drying salt, and yeah, there's lots of traditional. So on this day in the morning, we get up early and we climb the mountain. We see beautiful. We can see the whole island. Then we can see the coast, as you can see from that shrine there. That's 3Ks. It's pretty hard. We get up there, then we get back. If you're lucky, the Aussie cafe's open. We have another coffee, and then we go to a cooking class. So you can see on the bottom part, there's our walk up the island, up the mountain. So very cute. There's a bit of the island, and then we do our cooking class. So there's the guests, and we made soba, and they really loved it. It was really, really quite cool. You make the balls, and then you flatten it out, then you cut them up. Yeah, we left. Yeah, so Himeshima was quite cool. I think, if we had just 7 days of Kunisaki, you'd love it, but it gets after the fourth day. I thought it was, oh yeah, been there, done that. Now it's really cool to see the local area again. So you go all that way, you're probably never ever going to go back. So I'm trying to now show you Himeshima, and then we head into Beppu. Now this accommodation is quite amazing. It's in the foothills of Beppu, and it's just beautiful accommodation. We have dinner there, breakfast there, and we get there early so you can watch the sun go down in Beppu. When I first saw the postcards of Beppu, I thought, what a horrible place. It's really polluted. Why would anybody want to go there? But then when you get there, it's not a. Can you see the smoke on the side of the building there on the left? Yeah, that's actually the whole place is a bit like Rotorua. There's smoke coming out of the chimneys. There's smoke coming out of the drains. There's smoke coming out of the dog's kennel. It's a hot area, hot spring area, and it's just steam coming out from the pavement. So it's really, really cool. So you can just see a little bit of that there happening. But that's our accommodation. I'd love to show you more photos of it on our website if you wanted to see all that. But the accommodation's outstanding. And what I try and do is have really sexy accommodation at the end. So we finish on a high. Yeah, the tour wouldn't be complete without. There's only 20 samurai castles in all of Japan, and Kitsuki Castle is one of them. So it's a really cool place to go. It's near Beppu. We we have a short guided tour around there. Go to you know a samurai's house, 300-year-old house, and then we do some sake tasting, which is nearby, and then yeah, we see the castle, which is very typical of Japanese castles, and then finish off with lunch. I'm actually going to change the lunch. It was really, really beautiful lunch. It was very, very special. But the local area, because I was saying there's hot springs in the area, they do actually cook with steam and with hot water. And so we're going to a restaurant where the cooking's done by steam, which is highly regarded for the health reasons of it. So then we to head back to there we all having a sake, and we head back basically to what is it, Fukuoka. There's our dates for next year, and the pricing. So well, that's a photo from day 2 or 3. Yeah, yeah. So that's just beautiful. Just beautiful scenery, beautiful. Every day is so different. Anyway, that's our pricing. That's our single sup. I think it's a bargain. You won't be disappointed. I think it's our best tour by far. I loved it. It's not just what makes it very different, and I'll say it in a nutshell, and why we're different to all other operators there, is that we do have that bus from day one. And so there'll be no, when we pick you up from the hotel, there'll be no more public transport. It's all a private transfer the whole way. And you have a bus driver waiting for you. We can, if you've had enough walking, we can pull you out and take you somewhere else because we've got, a bus driver and two guides at our disposal. So, it lends itself to flexible walking options. And we've got lots of those, cultural experiences like going to the terraced rice fields. That can't be done if you're using public transport because it's hard to get there. But it's well worth doing those add-ons. I might hand over now because you're really bored of me, but to Sam here. And there was a guest on our last tour that wanted to talk for us. I was very lucky. You can see the guests were amazing. They were really good fun. One of the best groups I've had. But a guest wanted to read out a testimonial, which Sam will read to you.
G'day, guys.
If that's okay.
I'm just going to stop sharing the screen so I can pull up what she's sent through. It's just a small paragraph, but I think it encapsulates the Kunisaki walk very well and what Life and Adventure does so specially here. So here we are. Awesome. This is from Sarah Kuss. She's actually from the US, from America. That's why she can't join us tonight. But yeah.
It's 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah. She just says, as a preamble, the four of us from the USA are friends, and none of us knew Kyushu from Uzbekistan. Regardless, we agreed to take Life's Adventure on. Take a chance on Life's Adventure. The Kunisaki Peninsula is extraordinary in its own right. For this trip with Life's Adventure was beyond any of the four of us could expect. The hiking routes were each unique for the geography, the natural grandeur, the required fitness, and the opportunity for spiritual meaningfulness. Each day held surprise, cultural experiences that was real, unsaged, and very local. All of the accommodations were fabulous for so many reasons. Staff who went out of their way to make us feel comfortable, incredible meals, remarkable settings, and one-of-a-kind histories. The Japanese hiking guide was a star, gifted with perfect language skills, intuitive people reading, deep understanding and appreciation of the terrain, and skilled mountaineering. Each day we exercised our bodies, gained some valuable history and local appreciation, and enjoyed ourselves, all while never did we encounter another person on the trails. For the four of us, this was a trip of a lifetime. Yeah, look, it doesn't get too much better than that. That's why we do it at Life's an Adventure. Making people as happy, making lifelong memories, and learning about new culture. So pretty
good on you, mate. We might go over to Q&A. Does anybody have some questions?
It's Jan here.
Hi, Jan.
When do you think's the best time to go? What season?
Okay, it's south, so it's going to be warmer. So I wouldn't walk, and this is why we haven't picked dates in June, July, because it's way too hot.
Yep.
So it's upside down. So, in Australia, south is sort of Tasmania and it's the reverse. So I think April is good. I went this year in October 17th, and I think the October one will be perfect. Yeah,
Yep.
it could be.
I'm looking at October.
What the weather's going to be like.
Yeah.
The 24th of September to October could be hot on the hot side.
Yep.
And I wouldn't be scared, but it could be cool too. So, we had probably 2 days really hot, and then we had 2 days really, really cold. So it was change of season. Yeah. Could get really cold in end of October. It's very, it's a bit like walking in I don't know, Tasmania. You
Yeah.
can get all seasons in one day, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anybody else?
I've got a question for Kylie because you're going on it. What are you
Yes, I
most
am.
excited about? What kind of
Um, well, I'm glad to hear it's not overrun with tourists.
yeah, yeah.
I used to live in Japan about 23 years ago and did a bit of hiking there and at that time, but I don't want to go around Osaka or
Yeah,
Tokyo. I want to go somewhere where, somewhere I didn't go when I lived there. So
Hmm.
yeah, this
yeah,
sounds great. This sounds great.
yeah.
So when I booked it, I was kind of like, yeah, that'd be great. And then I went, oh, it's Kyushu. It's going to be humid. So it's like, oh, okay.
All right. When are you going?
24th of September,
Yeah,
that tour.
yeah. Look, it could be hot, but the yeah, you never know your luck,
Yeah, that's right.
what
Yeah.
you're going to get. So
Yeah, the temps will be sort of like
at least
mid
it's not.
20s to mid 30s. So yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yep. Look, the walking is some of the best walking I've ever done. It was
Yeah.
outstanding. So really love the walks. They're not easy, but that's why they're only 8 to 12 k. So, but there's lots of easy sections too. But
Yeah.
are you scared of heights?
No.
Okay, well you're gonna love it.
Yeah. I'm keen to do that 13K day and do that little
Yeah, go for
climb.
it. But yeah, it was a challenge. But everybody that did it, they were really positive people, and yeah, there's a couple of them were really challenged and going, "Oh my God, it was scary," but they said, "Oh my God, I wouldn't miss it for the world." So,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Sometimes it pushes you. Some people pushes your boundaries. I don't know if my wife could do it, but yeah, there's easy options if you don't want to do it. But it was outstanding walking. It was, it's quite an amazing place geologically.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. The one thing I've got to get relearn is like where I live is completely pretty flat, so I'm going to have to find some hills to practice on.
Yeah, definitely that day do lots of steps,
Yep.
lots of step training, but you'll get there. It, that's the beauty. It's not a race. I was actually the slowest person out of the whole group, but they're really patient, the guides.
Yeah, I mean, and the
It's
countryside looks beautiful. That's like,
yeah, it's
yeah, just
stunning.
amazing.
The stunning thing is, walking in Australian bush, it's beautiful, but it just doesn't have the history of the culture. And every
Mm,
turn is something to see, and it's quite amazing for us. For me, it was, yeah,
yeah. And then the food. I'm really looking forward to that.
yeah, yeah. Be open-minded about the food.
Oh,
Uh,
look, I'll eat anything. So yeah,
yeah,
lived in Japan.
really,
We'll eat
yeah. Okay,
anything. Yep.
I don't want to scare you off, but
So I'll just
I
cancel the recording right here. That's all right.